So this is a video on how to mix up some nutritious greens for your animals when you're kind of limited on exactly what kinds of greens you can get. For example, today all we're going to be using are these mustard greens here and this red leaf lettuce, as well as grating up this cucumber. Now just these three kinds. If you at home are able to alternate between these and a bunch of other different kinds of greens, that works. Another easy way is to just go and get the spring mix or the organic spring mix from your average supermarket. A lot of times it's another easy way to get variety, but say all you can get are just one or two kinds of leafy greens. What you can also do, and what I've done, is we've made some, this is going to be for the bearded dragons, but this is the Zoo Med bearded dragon pelleted food. And then in here is the Zoo Med tortoise diet. And again, I softened these up because as you can see it breaks apart really easily. So we can go ahead and coat the greens in this stuff, and that helps add a little bit more additional nutrition and variety to the diet without necessarily having to buy a bunch of different veggies. And then over here we're going to be adding some of the different canned foods as well, and again for that same reason of all the different kinds of nutrients and stuff that come inside of these canned diets that you may or may not be able to get in just your leafy greens. This is also the calcium we're going to be sprinkling on it. It's the Reptivite with D3 because all of these animals are being housed indoors, so they're being fed the vitamins that have D3 in them. Alright, so now it's all nice and chopped up. An easy secret for you is to just use a pair of scissors. We just have these cheapy scissors that we got down at the dollar store. We just cut them up the different heads of lettuce, which as you can see makes lots of nice chunks. Really quick and easy way to basically just chop up all your veggies without having to pull out the cutting board and knife and all of that. You don't need to chop it up into super tiny pieces. As you can see, we've got some big long pieces here, bigger pieces here, littler pieces. Your animals can chew, your animals can bite through it. It's okay. You don't have to worry too much about exactly how big the chunks are. We just chop it up like this because it makes it a lot easier for us to portion it out because we are feeding a lot more animals than your average pet household. But you know, if you have a few dozen tortoises at home, then you know what, feel free to go ahead and do the same thing. You at home probably won't need to make quite this much. Then another pro tip is going to be this cucumber here. You can also do this with just about any kind of larger vegetable. Cheese grater. This makes it easy for animals like baby bearded dragons, for your smaller tortoise species, for blue-tongued skinks. A lot of those animals, it's a lot easier for them to eat their vegetables when it's cheese grated because it's a much smaller and softer piece of vegetable. So we go ahead and cheese grate these bigger, harder veggies as an easy way to, again, add variety, add nutrients, just plain give them something different to eat. It's important to try and add as much variety as possible when you're keeping your captive tortoises, just because in the wild they would be eating dozens, if not hundreds of different kinds of plant matter. So in captivity it's important to try and offer as much different kinds of things to them as possible. We have, you know, maybe a dozen different kinds of veggies and plants that are usually available in most supermarkets, so it's just not going to be anywhere near the kind of variety that they get in the wild. So it's important to try and do what you can to add things to their diet whenever possible. Alright, so now we've got our cucumber nice and cheese grated, and now this is the part where you have to be willing and comfortable to get your hands dirty, because we're just going to dump our pre-moistened food right on top. Boom, there we go. And bearded bite food. There you go. And then what you do is you just mix it all in together. This mix is going to go to both bearded dragons and tortoises. The nice thing about the Zoo Med mixes is that they have quite a variety of nutrients in them, and they're not going to be so heavy in any one thing that both bearded dragons and tortoises can't eat them. This mix is just the vegetables that we're offering for the day, so it's okay that we're going to offer them a little bit of the same. There we go. So yeah, so you can see your hands get dirty. So there's all of that. Now I don't like to add the calcium in while I'm mixing like this, just because I just kind of lightly sprinkle it on the food for each of the animals as I put it into their cage. That way I can make sure that any one animal doesn't get too much or too little calcium with what they eat. Alright, and now, nice and dirty, we're going to add in the canned foods as well. So here's the red banana. Go ahead and shake that in. Gross. And again, I hope you're willing and ready to get your hands dirty. This might be a good job to make the kids do, if that's what they're they like doing. There we go. So there's the red banana. I also like to add in canned iguana food to the tortoise diets. Iguanas and tortoises have similar, not identical, but similar dietary needs, so this is a good nutritional boost to add. And there we go. It's brightly colored like this to make it more enticing to your animals. The red is definitely something that a lot of tortoises and iguanas find enticing. So that's going to be why it's so brightly colored. It also smells delicious. I kind of want to eat some myself. It smells kind of like Fruit Loops, to be honest. So there we go. So now we've added in our red banana and our iguana food. We also have a ton of baby bearded dragons and small bearded dragons in the store right now, so I'm going to be using some of this canned juvenile formula bearded dragon food. Now it actually, if you check the ingredients list when you get yours, it doesn't have any animal protein in it, so it's perfectly safe to be feeding to the tortoises, just like the pelleted food is as well. So I'm going to go ahead and add this to. And there we go. That is now our completed mix of vegetables and canned foods and pelleted food for our vegetarian or plant-eating animals here at the store. And there we go. Now we can check out some of the animals that eat it and see just how much they enjoy it. Again, because it's, as you can see, the leaves, it's got all of the pelleted food and the canned food all over it. It's an easy way to add just a little bit more vitamins and minerals and just variety to your animal's diet. And clearly gets your hands all dirty. So if you have kids, this is a great thing to make them do. If not, then I guess you're kind of stuck just getting dirty. And these are some of our baby sulcatas enjoying their meal. So you can see it doesn't take long for them to figure out that it's there and to start chowing down. See, and again, you can also see that you don't need to cut up all of their food into tiny little pieces. This guy over here, for example, is just taking off chunks of his big leaf. So it's good for them to sit there and just eat the lettuce themselves. You don't have to cut it up into tiny pieces every time. This is one of our baby cherry-headed red-footed tortoises. So you can see he's also figuring out the foods there super quick. And these are some of our Russian tortoises. I just offered them some fresh food. They are pretty excited to come over here and start eating. One of the best parts about Russian tortoises is that they are definitely some of the most willing tortoises to try new foods. It doesn't take them hardly any time at all.
Excuse me?
And this is some of our medium-sized red-footed tortoises. So you can see they like the mix too. Chow right down. This is our Moroccan Euromastix. As you can see, he ran right up and he started eating his too.
This one. He's cute. He comes up.
So you can see even the smaller bearded dragons really enjoy their greens. And that's our Benti Euromastix chowing down on his greens as well. We even offer some of this mix to our hermit crabs. They're scavengers, so they eat just about anything you offer them. And so it's not a bad idea to sometimes offer them something fresh besides just the pelleted food. So you can see they really enjoy eating it, and they don't mind it at all. We carry everything you see here, except for obviously the fresh greens, on our website. So if you want to order any of it, you can go ahead and visit our website at www.LLLReptile.com. And you can get your own mix of pelleted and canned foods to offer to your tortoises. You can pick up your own mix of canned food and pelleted food to add to your tortoises, your bearded dragon, skink, Euromastix, or other vegetarian reptiles diet. There you go. Some happy fans here.